Whether you call them crop dusters or aerial applicators, pilots in rural America play a vital role in a safe and abundant food supply. Madison Quinn and I talk with Toby McPherson of Tall Towers Aviation near Page, North Dakota.
Of the 347 million acres that are cropland in the country, we treat a third of that every year. They say we're out there, you're one of those poison pushers, you know, and I say, we enjoy that here in the U.S., the safest, most abundant, most affordable food supply in the world, and I stick to that.
McPherson is the owner-operator of Tall Towers Aviation. He fell in love with flying at an early age.
One of my brothers, and I've got seven brothers, grew up in Erie, North Dakota, just east here, about 10 miles, and we'd watched a neighbor spraying with an airplane all the time, and I guess my brother was a senior and I was a second grader. He's 10 years older than I, and anyway, we had been watching this guy all the time, and my brother was just graduating, and he says, looked at me and he says, that's what I'm gonna do. And I looked up at him and said, me too. And here we are. He's been doing it 54 years out in Colorado, and this was my 44th year in business here in North Dakota, right where we're at.
Toby says agricultural aviation is a vital tool for the production of safe, affordable food.
Treated acre, or the actual farming acres every year, are 347 to 350 million acres. And the crop dusters, aerial sprayers treat about a third of that every year in, year out. So, you know, 128, 130,000 million acres we treat. There's 3,500 of us in the whole country, 1,500 operations roughly, and a lot of operations have 2 pilots or more. The average age of most of us has been in the 50s or upper 50s, you know, a lot like farmers, and we are getting some younger pilots in. They're making it a little bit more enticing to some of the bigger corporations, chemical companies, BASF, Bayer, Syngenta are helping with scholarships to half a dozen guys every year, you know, and that most definitely helps on you know, trying to get a 200 hours in an airplane, man. It's some money nowadays, you know. Back when I started, it was I think it was $12 an hour, or maybe even 10, and 5 for the instructor. So now you couldn't even buy them lunch for that, you know.
Japanese admiral made the statement that I am afraid that we have awakened a sleeping giant. And I think he hit the nail right on the head when they start tapping all the available workforce in the United States that they had, and all the women that went into the workforce. Boy, it was terrific.
Luther Bierke on the left and George Grinberg on the right have not seen each other since they went down to basic training together over 75 years ago.
What's it been since you guys last saw each other?
75 years, I suppose.
Well, really?
I haven't seen it since we were in the Army. We were on latrine duty.
Latrine duty. Owen recited from the USS Logan's ship log, reliving when they saw that fateful United States flag flying on the top of Mount Suribachi.
Yeah, this was in February of 45. There was a LCT, that's a landing craft, alongside with casualties, and then that was at 12:30, and then 1442, that would be 242, and there was a 238 alongside with casualties, and our sick bay is overflowing with patients. And yeah, during the mid-watch fighting morning, a Marine private, 5th Division, dies on board from wounds received in action against an organized enemy. On the 8 to 12 watch of February 23rd, we pulled into the transport area for night retirement. Japanese mortars still fell in the landing area. At 10:31, the word was passed, the Marines have raised the flag on Suribachi. And someone shouted, look, they're on top of the volcano. It was a some-sized snail, size waving in the breeze. Boy, that was something.
We talked with Carson Klosterman of Richland County, who farms near Winemere, about planting delays this past spring and how they led to harvest considerations this fall.
From the 21 planting season to the 22, we were almost 5 to 6 weeks later. So, and that's showing up in the tonnage. We're sitting around 15 to 20% lower than last year's harvest. And then amongst other challenges, the numerous times it took to go to the field to plant these spots and that spot leads to some harvest issues because the size of the beet is different. So when the topper operator taking the leaves off has a little more work for him as the beets have inconsistent size. The harvester has to be more alert as the rows aren't lined up perfect for the whole half mile. Truck, the harvester itself runs on a tight tolerance, so not much room for air to have those pinch wheels lift the beets out of the ground and get them in the truck. The ground is hard, so it's tough to get the harvester in the ground to help bring in a little bit of soil to help carry the beets through the machine.
Carson is a family farmer, and he says there are challenges when it comes to passing it along to the next generation.
We've been doing it for 49, 50 years, and third generation doing it on our farm, and don't know no difference.
This is exactly why Farm Rescue exists. It's a family operation, a generational operation, and one that we want to do our best to keep going long term and keep that generational farm going. And so, you know, Robert's been through the ringer these past few months, and the timing was just terrible when it comes to the work they're doing heading into planting season, right on the heels of calving season. So it's very important for us, and we're very blessed and honored to be here and be able to help Robert through this tough time. At Farm Rescue, we're always taking applications. If you know you're going to be going through a tough time, I know that's not always the case, but if you find yourself in a tough time, yeah, we're always taking applications. You can find out everything you need to know about Farm Rescue and the services that we offer at farmrescue.org. Again, whether it be planting, haying, harvest, or livestock feeding assistance.
It seemed like nobody really liked us all year. It was like Lopton against the world, you know? We just knew that we had to end their season that day, or else it would come back and bite us.
It's a couple minutes after noon. This group of young men with Chris coaching it, and they've certainly been fun to watch.
We got to get an update on this Wapton Post 20 documentary, The Boys of Summer. There's just something about this team.
We're talking baseball, Boys of Summer. What a great opportunity. I mean,
they respect the game, and I think it's been brought up in these guys that that's what they need to do.
I've been playing baseball ever since like T-ball, probably younger, but probably my love for it came right after the first state championship that we won. You know, just fell in love. And
in the big picture of things, it's more than baseball. And we talk about it all the time. We're trying to create young men here that are going to be productive citizens in this world.
It's just the way they treat people. That's just the way they do it. You know, it's like some things are just that way, well, they're just that way. Here, it's down home.